Alright, so here's my next UFO carving, I guess. Because, there's a spaceship in there. It's definitely the next one I've decided to do. It's the rough sketch. It'll probably change a little bit. That might go away. I don't know. But it's not always exactly like the sketch. But I like to keep my sketch up here. So as I'm working, I at least have the original idea or concept that I liked the most, ready to look at. So as you can see, I mean, it's already a little different, from rough sketches. It's like sometimes I'll sketch the whole thing out and then start carving. This time I'm not going to. I'm just going to start in the places that I want to be up first, which are these trees right here. Like that's going to be the closest point, then everything will be carved back. So hopefully that, the sun and the clouds and stuff will be the farthest thing in the sky, hopefully, or appear to be. And then I strop my tools. It's like, I don't always film myself doing it, but I strop regularly. It's like you gotta do it to keep your tools sharp. Having sharp tools is good. After cutting myself last year pretty badly, I am now a pretty firm believer in at least having a glove for some kind of protection. It's like, I don't know if it's really going to do anything, but it makes me feel a little better. It's like, because it hurt. It's like, definitely, it hurt a lot. I would not suggest anybody do it if they're looking for something fun to do with their time, because that is definitely not the case. I've seen some guys, tap it out with a chisel. I mean, I don't know if it really matters. It's like, I guess if I was doing a hardwood, I'd probably have to do it with a chisel. But since I paint most everything I do at the moment, I don't know, sometimes we'll see there's some cool grains in here. We'll see how it goes. But 90% of the time I'm painting it as well. It's like, so I've got some walnut pieces and some oak pieces. I tend not to paint those when I do them just because it's nice wood. But basswood, that's kind of, it's soft, it's easy to carve. You can do cool things with it like that. You can paint it, it's not too difficult. It goes on pretty well with acrylic paints. You can really do anything. And I was thinking about getting some really bright indigos and glow in the darks and glitters or flake for different levels. Kind of make it pop a little more, if you will. Let's see here. Adjust this a little better. There we go. That's better. Now you can see the whole piece and not so much of my fat head leaning in. Like, bad enough you chose to listen to me talk. I always start with an idea. An idea is the place to go. Something, an old chainsaw carver that I used to know would always tell me, Jake, if you can draw it, you can carve it. It's pretty true. It's like, and that's what got me into doing the landscape things in kind of a impressionist, psychedelic kind of look to it. Was, well, if I can draw it, I can carve it. So a couple months ago I started doing this instead of whittling wizards and mushrooms, and I really like it. It's like, it's different. I like the levels and stuff that I can achieve, and the looks that I get. It's like, I enjoy it. It's like, that's what art's really about, is you enjoying it too. It's You know, it's got to be fun as the creator. Because if you're not having fun at it, what's the point? I mean, everything in this life should be fun, right? Well, it should. It's not, but it should be. I got into carving when I was a little kid. Like, my father was a professional chainsaw wood sculptor. He was sponsored by Husqvarna there in the late 80s, 90s. It was pretty cool. But you gotta have space for that, logs and space. I live in an apartment, and I always wanted to carve. And then, let's see, about 3 years ago, probably more than that, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I was still in Nashville, I started playing with Makita cordless chainsaws. And that was really fun because I lived in a couple places where I could get away with doing that. I don't know if they liked it, but no one really complained. So I did it for a while. But then when I moved up here to the great north, in Minnesota, it's like I'm in an apartment and I still wanted to carve, so I started doing this stuff more. And I mean, it's similar concept. You're just taking away. You know, I remember my carver friend of mine my dad used to tell me all the time, you know, you're just taking away. You're just taking it away. And I never got it until I started doing things like, oh, I get it. When drawing, you're adding. Carving, you're removing, taking away. It's like, and those are about the 2 lessons that he ever gave me about carving. Besides that, I started carving after he passed away. You know, and then recently kind of got into this stuff. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my wider ones here, flex cuts over my rams, I don't know how you say it. And I'm going to take all of this down. It's like, I don't know what direction I'm going to go with. I know this way was pretty easy on that. Because I could go like that with the ground and then maybe like that with the sky, you know, to give you the contrast and texture. I like to play with different size gouges for textures. Here soon I'd like to get some micro gouges and micro V tools, preferably flex cut. I love flex cut, and see how those can work and add more smaller detail. It's like, to my carvings, I really want to put a fire pit on one of these mountains. I think that'd be cool. Depending, I like to try to work within my blocks that are kind of there to make sure. Ooh, let's see. Hold on. No. I mean, it's going to make it more difficult, but it will look really. No. Sometimes if I want something in the place after I take it away, that was a good spot for this, I'll mark it on the sides. So I know, hey, on the sides, because I'm going to paint those eventually anyways. Yes, I know I'm going against the grain, but I like the texture. It's like the texture is in this with this stuff, it makes quick work on the basswood. It's like, and some rips and chips are okay. I mean, you're not, right now we're just removing stuff that you don't need, so, and I like it for dry brushing. It's like when I paint, it's like all the different textures and cross grains that definitely have a unique look to them. Even when they're oiled, it's like there's just different textures. If you haven't figured it out, I like texture.